let me talk about a local issue. The local issue I've been working on that's also bipartisan in nature is finally completing the Elgin-O'Hare Expressway to provide western access to O'Hare. Right now, the Elgin-O'Hare neither reaches Elgin nor O'Hare. It's merely aspirationally named. The dream of building western access to O'Hare has been languishing for decades, as you know, even though it has the support of nearly every local actor. Chicago and the suburbs, Republicans and Democrats, business and labor, and yes, Sox and Cubs fans. Now, just so folks in the city understand why this is so important and why it elicits applause from certain people in this room, for us in the west and northwest suburbs, you cannot go to O'Hare without going into the city, going east into the city, and then coming west to go to O'Hare, even though as the crow flies, O'Hare is literally right next to us. And so, why is this project so important beyond the mere fact of cutting our commute time, oftentimes significantly? In a word, jobs. Building a western access road to O'Hare and giving western access to O'Hare would create nearly 20,000 construction jobs, 7,400 in direct construction jobs, 3,000 engineering jobs, another 6,000 from vendors and equipment suppliers. And once the project is completed, our region would realize 65,000 permanent jobs, 44,000 in Cook and the balance in DuPage. It would result in an estimated $29 million in annual tax revenue and an additional $6 billion in regional economic output. Corporate headquarters and logistics companies, among others, would flock to the western suburbs to be in close proximity to the airport. You've seen the development in Rosemont on the eastern side. We believe the development, economic development, would be manifold on the western side. Now, why is a project with such massive benefits and universal support still waiting to be completed? The answer is literally up in the air. The Illinois Tollway Authority and the Canadian Pacific Railway have been engaged in a lengthy dispute about the rights-of-way above and below a rail track that lies along the western edge of O'Hare. Canadian Pacific argues that a bridge over the property and construction on the property would negatively impact its rail operations. Meanwhile, thousands of jobs, millions of dollars in economic activity, as well as the environmental benefits of less congestion on the roads around O'Hare remain twisting in the wind. So this past spring, I convened a public meeting of local officials, both Democrats and Republicans, to review the status of this project and strategize on how to push forward. Ultimately, we joined together in sending a letter to the U.S. Surface Transportation Board expressing our support of western access to O'Hare, as well as completion of the Elgin-O'Hare Expressway. The dozens of signatories to the letter included local business and labor leaders, as well as local mayors and public officials from both sides of the aisle. And here I want to give special credit to DuPage County Chairman Dan Cronin, as well as the Tollway Chairman Bob Schillerstrom, who've been excellent allies and partners with me on this particular project. Shortly after receiving our letter, the board issued a directive to the Tollway and Canadian Pacific to enter into mediation. Negotiations which started in the spring are continuing, and I believe the results look very promising. All of us who live and work here should encourage a successful conclusion for good jobs and economic growth, a healthier environment, and a brighter future for the entire region for years to come. This is another example of bipartisanship in action. Cooperation, bipartisanship, focusing on results. These just aren't ideas. These are essential components of any effort to make a positive impact through government. That's the approach I've taken to national issues, such as with regard to the Thompson-Krishnamoorthi Act, as well as regional concerns like the Elgin-O'Hare Expressway. I believe this approach works. But I also know it's what I'm supposed to do as a newly elected member of Congress. Who knows? Maybe if we keep at it, Washington will finally get the message that I keep hearing at the almost 20 town halls that I've done and the various other public meetings we've had. Let's put partisanship aside. Let's start to meet our common challenges as Americans, and let's get something done. I'd like to close with my favorite saying, which is that yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a gift. And that's why we call it the present. I'm so honored and blessed. I'm so honored and blessed to be with you here in the present to talk about our future challenges, but our future opportunities to work together to make America and our region a better place. So I say God bless you and your families, and of course, God bless the United States of America. Thank you so much.